So is InvestEngine any good? So in this video, I'm going to go through what it offers, how much it costs, and for which investors it's particularly good. So what is InvestEngine? In simple terms, it's an investment platform that focuses exclusively on ETFs. So these are funds that hold a collection of investments like stocks or bonds and are traded on stock exchanges, much like individual shares. Now, InvestEngine offers the main account types you'd expect from a platform, so a stocks and shares ISA for tax-free investing, a general investment account, and in January 2024, it added the self-invested personal pension, or a SIPP for short. Unlike other larger investment platforms in the UK like Hargreaves Lansdown and Fidelity, it doesn't offer the full suite of investment products. So if you want to invest in a lifetime ISA, for example, or a junior ISA, you'll need to look elsewhere because InvestEngine doesn't offer those two products. Now, you can either build your own portfolio of ETFs with InvestEngine, which they call a DIY portfolio, or you can have them manage them if you want in what's called a managed portfolio. Now, at the time of recording this review, the managed portfolios are temporarily unavailable to new investors, and this is while they make improvements to the portfolio building questionnaire. But the platform's biggest selling point and a key reason we're updating this review is to talk about the DIY option and the fact there is no platform fee whatsoever. Now, before I talk about costs in more detail, you can see on screen we have an InvestEngine review on the Manage the Masses website, which goes into full detail about all areas of the InvestEngine proposition, and we also compare costs against other platforms as well. So while I've got that on screen, we may as well talk about fees because it's where InvestEngine really stands out. So if you choose the DIY option, this is where you pick your own ETFs. There is no platform fee to pay. There's no dealing charges, no setup fees, and no withdrawal fees. All you will pay is the underlying ETF charge, which starts at just 0.03% per year and average around 0.12% per year. There is also a small market spread, which is the difference between buying and selling price of an ETF, which they estimate to be around 0.07%. This makes it one of the cheapest ways to build a portfolio of ETFs in the UK. And you can see that on screen when I compare against the other platforms out there and their charges. I won't dwell on the managed portfolio fees because, as I've mentioned, they are not available to new investors right now. But if you want InvestEngine's team of experts to build a managed portfolio for you based on your risk appetite, there is an additional management fee of 0.25% per year. So let's look at the DIY options in a bit more detail. Ultimately, it is designed for investors who are happy to do their own research, and they can choose from around 830 ETFs available on the platform. It's a straightforward, no frills way to build a portfolio that you can control. A particularly useful feature is the automatic rebalancing. When you add or withdraw money, InvestEngine can automatically make the trades required in order to keep your portfolio in line with your target allocations. It also has a handy rebalancing feature, meaning as markets rise and fall, you can keep your investments aligned with your chosen weights with a single click. So moving on to the pros and cons of InvestEngine. Obviously, the main one is the cost and the fact that DIY investors do not have to pay any platform fees, meaning it is one of the most cost-effective ways to invest in a wide range of ETFs in the UK. The second thing to mention is the simplicity. The platform is clean, easy to use, and isn't cluttered with complicated features. It's designed to make long-term passive investing extremely straightforward. Moving on to the cons, the main limitation is the investment choice. So InvestEngine is all about ETFs. You can't buy individual stocks and shares, investment trusts, or mutual funds. If you want those, you'll need to look elsewhere. It's also a relatively simple platform, which in one way is a positive, but for some people and more experienced investors, they might miss advanced trading tools, in-depth research, or live news feeds. But if it's not for you, then it's not a particular problem if those features are not there. And finally, while the customer service gets good reviews for being helpful, there is no telephone support, which might be a negative for some people. So to sum up, InvestEngine is really a strong choice for a few type of investors. It's excellent for cost-conscious DIY investors who want to build and manage their own portfolio of ETFs without paying platform fees. It's also great for beginner investors who want a simple, low-cost, hands-off approach, and the minimum investment is just £100. So it makes it very accessible. With the addition of the SIPP, so that pension, it's now also a compelling option for anyone looking for a very low-cost way to save for retirement, especially if they are comfortable with an ETF-only approach. However, if you want to trade individual stocks or need a platform with a more advanced feature list and research tools, you will need to look at other providers. And we provide a link to some of those platforms in the notes below this video. So you can click through onto the Money to the Masses website and see those at your own leisure. So to finish, InvestEngine is a top contender in the UK market, especially on cost and simplicity. Also, do read that full review on the Money to the Masses website for all the comparisons and looking at all the things on offer with InvestEngine. Also, if you found this video useful, make sure you hit that like button, but also subscribe to the channel.